that whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am. So hello there everyone, and welcome to this video. This will be actually a very strong and potent light activation, or you can call it a meditation for divine immunity and group healing. So throughout this whole process that I've shared with you throughout my recent videos, I was actually every day guided into a channeled spirit light activation that assisted this process along a higher vibratory state of refined essence. So because of all that and how important it is to anchor this safe space, this sacred space of love, of liberation, of unity consciousness, I wanted once again to work with this beautiful painting to make it available to our group. It is from a friend, and it's a beautiful vortex gateway. I know the light isn't perfect, but in the middle there is a crystalline pyramid which attunes us to the heart of the divine love essence, and then higher cosmic rays emanation, which is going to be a part of this activation. But before we start, I want to share a little bit of more updates to what's actually happening, and then I want to explain to you, because I have it all written down here, I want to explain the stages and phases of this activation process, because it's quite an extensive work, so this might take a while. You can participate in it in your own sacred space whenever you feel called to. It is important that we start creating sacred space wherever we are, because we don't want to have infiltrated energy. We're not meant to work that way. This is not about separation. This is about, moving through separation and assisting those aspects that still live a fragmented life within this supervised constant control, which is fueled by separation consciousness. And we don't want to operate from that, as in, from a space of infiltration. We want to create a sacred space, and then from that space, from that safe space of what came through as divine immunity, we wish to expand and move further out. And I've read to you a message of divine immunity in my video about the integration of dark into light. The first thing I wish to say here is, how do we know when a certain level of work, because as I've shared with you before, this process will continue to happen. Recently, a friend shared with me, because I got many messages afterwards, what I've shared with all of you as my beautiful group. I got so many messages. I was like flooded with messages, and someone shared with me that even from an astrological point of view, I think from Vedic astrology, it was like this fine line about this oppression, suppression, harassment, all of that coming through, and it will continue to happen. And I've shared with you before, it will continue to happen. Not necessarily to you physically once you do the integration work through your own body. How do you know that? As I've said before, the waves always flow, they fluctuate, they come in these subtle modes, and each time a new wave comes, it's like a key that fits into a certain locket, and that locket serves as the gateway so we can have an ejection, of that higher consciousness activation point. So during this process, what came out was, after I shared all those videos, a friend messaged me because he was starting to receive very forcefully, messages on Facebook from the same false account that I was harassed through, before I actually closed all my spaces, in the public non-safe environments on Facebook. So he shared with me that they tried to, kind of create this space where we would no longer be online. And he said they tried to scare and intimidate me and use me to inform others who are also a target, but I won't do that because I don't allow them to use and control me in that field. The play field has changed, and we're all ready. What I witnessed myself, and that's why I'm sharing this with you, is how when these energies, like I've said to you before, in the light activation, I'm going to show you how to work through the I am presence to return energies back to their source, so they can be liberated there from the I am presence invocation. That's the first step, because we're not meant to digest energies that are not ours, but we assist by, it's almost like when a certain energy comes into awareness, we like Pac-Man, we gobble it up, we eat it up, the energy, so that in our full embodiment, we can actually integrate it. How do you know when this is ready? I'm going to show you through my own example. When I got those messages, And I said, please send me so that, the print screen so I can show to the person who works with that level, of being informed. And what happened is all these print screens that he shared with me, there was so much share there. All the, like I said to you before, all this weird gossips and spreading lies and weird energies coming through. And I remember at first when I was directly being aimed at, I felt that energy in my body. It was like a increased heart rate, or it was like a sickness in the belly. And I've literally felt that energy of, it's how our bodies respond to such separation actions. So that's the first part. The moment you integrate it, how you know it's ready is because when I read those messages, I no longer felt them in my body. And this is when you know the work is complete. And in my own example, I received, sorry, I received a message that in my own integration process, this work was now complete at this level. Sorry. Ooh, wow, something comes, always clears through the throat when we talk about those things. Sorry, can't help it. Comes sometimes. So the body is, I've shared this with you before, it's the strongest indicator for whatever you're doing energetically. Because the energy, when it matches the resonance in your body, that's the secret formula to life, to resolution, to liberation, and to little embodiment process through life force. So the body integration process is that indication. And because so many people shared with me what they're going through themselves, perhaps it's in their workplace, perhaps they're being, sometimes even through their families, maybe they have a family member. It doesn't matter, because the way the separation through darkness operates is by sending the energy of separation, constant oppression through any kind of individual or template that still is based themselves on separation. And the person shared with me a lot about the psychology of those who are actually turning into oppressors because they have a fragmented, wounded persona. And it goes back into the childhood and trauma and all of that. And yes, but remember, we can do the work for someone else. We can have compassion for where they're coming from, whether it's someone doing it from their own personal agenda or whether it's a more collective agenda based, it doesn't matter. What I wish to gift and liberate, share as a gift of liberation with all of you today through this activation that came channeled in sequences in my own spirit guidance in my own life is such a gift, truly. Because when we did it ourselves through those 3 consequential steps, it was just such a remarkable change in the body. I tell you, when I got those messages after we did all the steps, I no longer felt the energy in my body, and this is when it was complete. So there was messages shared with others to me also about how to liberate the oppressor, and a lot of knowledge and science, the works of Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, all of that. All of these people in a way and form represented that archetype of how are we still experiencing oppression on the planet through an examples. They each utilize a certain aspect of that. But the highest aspect, again, and you will see it's coming through the light activation as well, is simply stop being a victim to that which we perceive an attack, to empower and liberate ourselves. Because the strongest force of liberating the oppressor is you no longer participate in the game. You take yourself out of that equation. And everyone from working at the highest vibrational alignment within the truth will tell you that. Speak your truth. Doesn't mean now you hold silence. Create actions through ripple effects. Share with others. Go into the community. Like all these people did. But then also at a certain point, stop playing the game. Become a part of the game only when you have a certain mission there, when there's something meant for you to share, to empower the whole with, through your own example. And remember, again, we're each playing our own highest part for this integration work of polarity to play out. Find your space. Know how you're being not used, but utilized as a sacred vessel, as a divine channel. And for me, in my own example, what my work is always dedicated to this refinement and frequency. And even, let's say, when I publish things like posts, people get upset because, there's no comments there. And people would say, well, you don't allow criticism or this. I don't believe in criticism. I don't believe anyone has the right to criticize anyone. People will say, well, maybe it's a constructive criticism. I don't believe there's anything constructive about any form of criticism because it's still based on separation. When you move into unity, you deal with your own self. You come into self-love, self-acceptance. The moment we started doing the activations, we actually got our first message was it's all about self-love. follow your truth. Just follow your truth, whether it takes you to, align your sacred space, maybe how you expose yourself, allow yourself to go to the degree that feels comfortable and good for you, but not like comfortable in a way you're hiding yourself. I'm not talking about the comfort zone here. I'm talking about the level of self-accommodation that suits your current vibrational embodiment. And, so then the next step would always be to provide the kind of life through self-love that nurtures you, because when you're nurtured, when you're healed, you can offer that as an extension to others, as a reflection, not trying to heal anyone, but simply offering that space. And in this activation, we're creating a kind of space which is completely guided through the I Am Presence and divine will, this higher orientation. That is why my work has always been at this highest level of integrity, which means it's not about what people want to say in common, it's more about sharing. And people are always invited to share their experiences with me via my email. There's a contact information everywhere. Comments can be so linear, in the moment you read something, you want to comment about it, instead of moving within and contemplating. Whatever I put out is more prone towards contemplation. It's a self-reflective process, which all the spiritual teachers act through, is to engage a contemplative act of awareness within you, rather than always need to communicate something and share it, just like in that kind of sharing, which is more mental sharing. You have an idea about it, you have a thought, instead of processing it and integrating first, then you see whether you're still guided to share or not. Because even in my own work, whatever I share publicly, I have to do within myself first. So sometimes I say, oh, I need to record a video about that, and it doesn't come for a few days because the guidance won't allow me. Until I master and refine that within my own integration process, it's not always so fast or straightforward as we'd want it to be. And sometimes people want to act on things that it's not yet time. Allow yourself through the process of self-love, sorry again, to go through this process of integrating everything, of liberating yourself, and then see how you can be this conscious act, a force of sharing in the world. It doesn't have to be so public, but you're engaging with your own authenticity when you ask for guidance. How can I assist this process now at large? Through the bigger picture, maybe with just a certain friend you're having, maybe they're having similar experiences, maybe with a group. Some people are doing it in larger spiritual communities. It doesn't matter. But what I've witnessed myself when I got those messages from my friend, because I read them all, and I didn't feel anything in my body anymore. I didn't feel attacked anymore. I didn't even feel gossiped about anymore. It was all just like a play. And it was the embodiment of that, which, psychic healer said to me, it's just a game. And I want to share this with you, that what was written in those posts was not just aimed towards me. There was a lot of names mentioned there of many who call themselves spiritual teachers, ascension guides, all from that. It was all about this certain, community of people. I don't, belong in any kind of community, but I've seen it's aimed towards a larger group of people. That's all I'm going to say. So because of that, understand that I've shared this with you before. It's not a personal thing. It's happening now at a much broader collective level. And, when I was reading through those comments, it was actually funny, because in one of them they said, well, this person is now no longer in our list of favorites. They're now speaking nonsense too. And it was like lots of profanity and vulgar words. And I'm like, what, are we being monitored? And, now you're in the like list, then you're in the hate list. It's almost like there's a certain cult there. And I don't even want to know what it's about, because I'm not a part of that, because you withdraw from that. But in your withdrawal, there is power, which doesn't mean you are powerless, or you, in a way, you go away from things by not wanting to face them. You move to a higher degree, which means you extend your life so that you're able to embrace a bigger populace, a bigger scope of what's actually happening through the surroundings on the planet, not just what you perceive as a very little tiny fraction of the whole bigger picture, okay? So I want to show you now some oracles, and then we're going to begin with the activation work. These are some of the messages I asked today to receive about the situation before I recorded the video. And I want to share with you. I also want to read you from this beautiful booklet about certain something that completely matches this, because people have shared with me about this liberation of the oppressor, and there's much information about that as well. So if you have any kind of experience of feeling violated or attacked, eventually you're going to have to move out of that energy, but not by running away from it, but by facing it, confronting it, like I said in that message. You know, the darkness has to be confronted for what it is, but that way you engulf it, like you gobble it up, like yummy, you know. And then it feels in your body something has completed itself, something has completed its cycle. So these are the messages that I received. First message was closing, because I was literally asking the question, what's now energetically with this type of situation? It was, you know, is it over at this level? Not over, but nothing is ever over. But is it energetically complete at this degree? And it was closing. So you see, key, the chapter has closed. That's the first message I got. The second one was thankfulness. That was also, you'll see it's going to be in the activation, cultivating gratitude, because this is actually a very good thing. Still, a lot of people don't see it like that. People think, oh my God, what's happening now? A lot of people who are very wise now, especially young crystal children, they're saying, oh my God, I'm so excited this is happening because it's bringing so much to our attention and to growth. So next one is freedom and soul. So this is about, see, soul, freedom. This is about the liberation of soul. It's about claiming our own sovereign freedom, because the moment people start to get attacked or in any way it feels like your sacred space is threatened, which can be physically or online or just energetically by what people call psychic and lower entities, or sometimes even suicidal thoughts. Someone shared with me before that, wow, my videos have helped them so much because they've actually had suicidal thoughts when they were much younger, and they thought, well, that's just my voice, and they had a lot of work to do so they could actually transcend that. But they said, well, now I understand where this voice is coming from. And it's true. There's a lot of, in the video I've shared with you before about this type of mental control, MK Ultra, all these types of technologies. And my, this companion that we did a healing session with, she shared with me that actually in her own life, it has been, you know, she came to the information about people developing the kind of technology that could just, you know, the kind of sound frequency, the kind of frequency waves that could kill people. You know, the certain vibration hits your brain and, you know, it's like causes a dramatic, it's like a comatose kind of response. And these technologies, as you know, they're always being tested and developed, you know, and some of the people who choose to play these parts, they choose very difficult lifetimes, you know, if they choose to be a part of those experiments. So in any way and form, when you say, well, what was that suicidal voice? The only thing you need to know, there is no suicidal voice or something telling you, do that, you know, or harass someone else, do the bad, you know, action, gossip over someone. These are all voices, like some Christians would call it voice of the devil. I mean, I'm a Christed being. I'm not a Christian in terms of religion. But it's kind of like that same thing. It's the voice of separation, I call it. It's the energies of darkness, or very much, it's like fear that hasn't had a chance to resolve itself and recognize itself as fear. So it comes out in a form of a very controlled methodology that, you know, it works that way. So a lot of people who are highly sensitive or empathic will start feeling those thoughts and they will take them as their own. And no suicidal thought ever comes from your soul, because the soul does not tell you to jump off a cliff or do something bad to someone else or just literally plain side kill yourself. It doesn't work that way. So through this cycle, we were all integrating a new level of soul freedom, of liberation, and that's what it always is. It's like I said, being injected with something that propels our higher consciousness. And now I got also this confidence card, the peacock, which is, again, you see, when you move through something, there's a new level of your power, and you spread your wings. You really claim this energetic space and knowing who you are. So I really love this one, especially I got today. It's from the Earth Power Oracle. These are beautiful cards. And I asked what kind of sacred space energy would fit this situation. And it's, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's something in Hawaii. It says, I'm forgiven and I forgive. And it's called Puuna, I don't know. Wow, it sounds like Polona, my name. It's called the place of refuge. And it talks about the deepest sacred space you can enter. And again, it's about how do we integrate the energies of those who are the oppressors or the convicts or those who've performed any kind of deeds of separation. So you can see these two beings here, right? They're wearing, these are masks. And the masks, in many ancient traditions, they're used as an archetype of the one who is the trickster, who will come, pretend it's something, but then it's in disguise. So In truth, it's something totally different. But you see, there's moon behind those two shadow masks, which is a revelation. It's like something, the message was something completes itself. And we get the moon oracle message a few days back as well. And now, because of the beauty of this message, I want to read about this place of refuge from the booklet. So the mantra is, I forgive, I am forgiven. I am forgiven, I forgive. The key energies to work with are peace, forgiveness, relief, complete sanctuary. This is what we're going to be working with today in the activation. So the location is Kona, Hawaii, USA, and the element is water. Here is the description. In the ancient world, the concept of a place of total shelter and forgiveness was rare, yet universally recognized. One of the most famous of these places of refuge was that of the Pu'una at Kona on the island of Hawaii. I'm just going to say Polona, right, to just liberate the confusion aspect. So the ancient Hawaiian society was complex and had many layers and laws. Kapu or kepu was a law. Some kapu were so taboo that should they be broken, the penalty was death. There was, however, a way that the sentence could be changed. That is, if the lawbreaker managed to reach Pu'una by whatever means possible, there would be complete forgiveness. Reaching this place of refuge was, however, far from easy. Lawbreakers were often chased by whole families or villages, and the only way to reach the sanctuary was by swimming across the sea. Large seas and a jagged black lava rock shoreline hindered them, and that was if the sharks didn't get them first. Oh my gosh, oh my goodness. Once there, a ceremony of absolution called Ho'oponopono, we all know that, right? The basic Hawaiian ritual of deep forgiveness, would be enacted by the kahunas, the priests, and the lawbreaker would be able to freely return to society. Defeated warriors and non-combatants would also find refuge here during times of battle right up to the early 19th century. The historical park that preserves the site is a stunning place to visit. Fierce Ki, wooden images of gods guard the hail of a certain sacred temple I can't pronounce, that house the bones of chiefs. The grounds just outside the Great Wall that encloses the Pu'una were home to several generations of powerful chiefs, and it is believed that additional protection for the Pu'una was received from the mana, the personal power and magic, in the bones of the chiefs that lie there. This place of sanctuary has survived through even recent tsunamis, while many other nearby temples were destroyed. Wow, I guess that's how sacred space works, is that indestructible, fierce, it's like a house of light. Let's just call it like that, a dome of light. And this is what I will be offering through the activation process. So also here it says, take your time as the energy needs to flow through you. And you leave something to ask for forgiveness in your own life. It's like a, a ritual. It's like an offering. And leave your grudges here and walk away much lighter. Beautiful. So I believe this is a strong message when those masks of falsehood, of whatever it is, the trickster energy are confronted. Then the moon, that overlighting illumination shines through, through this process, you see. I think it's beautiful. So, and then the tarot cards were, what happened was the tower. There was the tower energy, which is a destruction of something. As you know, it's like another house of cards, of false cards is revealed, and it shatters to the ground so that new aspects of us can rise through it. And then we had a new beginning energy of the Ace of Pentacles. And this is always meaning that it needs to be destroyed, not through control and suppression, or, like the energy of literal destruction through ego, but that natural destruction, like the lightning comes and it restores and rebalances everything once again, so that new light, new life can be birthed. Okay, so now, as I've mentioned to you before, you will know when you work with any kind of essence of that in your own life. Anything that still shows you victim consciousness, you have to face it head on. You have to share the truth. You have to speak up in any way and form that suits you through self-love. And then follow through the wisdom of your body to show you where the integration work is at, and you will feel once it culminates within you. So this is the Divine Immunity and Group Healing Light Activation. I also advise many beautiful workings of Patricia Cota-Robles. She has amazing light activations and divine decrees on her YouTube channel as well. Her webpage is called Era of Peace. And yeah, so I want to walk you through the steps first so you will know what we're going through. And then we're going to just record really beautiful light activation. So I want to give you these visuals so that you're already going to see a little bit what we're actually working with when we do it. Okay, so these are the 3 basic steps that are a part of this integration work, because divine immunity means that you reach a certain vibrational state that even when things are still happening, they will continue to happen. But when you are a pillar of light, when you are here to shed loving awareness of whatever is taking place, from that sacred space of what we're going to activate now, from this divine immunity, you'll be able to offer guidance, love, and support instead of reacting to what's still happening, instead of feeling sorry for or feeling pity for whatever is happening. You know, sometimes people say, oh, these individuals doing that, we pity them, you know, for choosing that. Don't pity anyone. Bless everything, everyone, because that's the true nature of Christed heart and divine love that can break through and truly liberate anything. That's why I gave you this beautiful gateway here. So the first step is always invoking our I am presence. And we're going to work with the energy absorption so that the energy that you've, in a way, maybe throughout the process of feeling a victim towards anything, of feeling your violated sacred space or being harassed or in any way and form, that just being withdrawn through you and absorbed through your I am presence. Because when you work through the I am level, it's much more potent than you just, you know, like clearing your aura every day. That's like just washing yourself, but then doing it energetically. But what you also do here is you want to envision that also being done for those aspects of life, as we know them, the so-called perpetrators, who don't know that they're a part of this, who are just doing this from a very fragmented perspective. And these are recalcitrant souls, as Patricia calls them. So we're doing that the same by invoking their I am presence and clearing the divine debris, stepping into immunity through transparency. So the first step is doing that through your own I am presence invocation, their I am presence invocation, and of all the aspects that still somehow operate through separation, and then stepping into divine transparency so that you can become a transparent vehicle for divine white light, which is the inner natural state of protection rather than shielding from the outside, which is something I've talked about in the previous video. The second step means then from this point onward, you have to start activating gratitude. This is what we did on the second day. When we activate gratitude, and we had here the thankfulness card, right? It's the same thing. It's really feeling it in your body, because if you're just saying, no, I'm grateful for this, but the body doesn't feel it, like when I've literally experienced in my body, what does it mean? Even the darkness serves the light. My whole life in that moment was changed. Everything shifted. The whole reality was like a stack of cards falling away. And it was a new level of self-empowerment and integration. So in that gratitude, really feeling it like, wow, oh my God, I can't believe how powerful this is when I understand that it serves its purpose. When I let it play its role and see what it leads me to. Because in my role, you know, intention was for me to share this with the group, because I'm like a spokesperson for my beautiful group of pioneers, and then embody this myself so the ripples can go out and I can serve from this renewed sacred space, renew energetic alignment, even higher consciousness. Someone recently shared with me that when you somehow do any kind of practice or yoga and you upgrade your consciousness, you become even more exposed, like a more of a victim to dark energies, in a way, because it's a part of the process. You know, each time you go higher, you break through a new concept, you break through a new level of the whole matrix, or as some people call it, the system. It doesn't matter. It's just you break through those veils. You can call it veils of illusion, you know, shattering those veils. And that's why it's both working in synergy. So when you break through it, that's when the resolution happens. So the next step is really feeling the divine plan of perfection. And in my life, that was when I found what looked like the horseshoe, and it was actually an omega. And in this part, we're going to travel through the Omega gateway of divine perfection. We're going to feel love and gratitude, and we're going to invoke the group consciousness. In the group consciousness, in the next step, I was seeing how a beautiful thread of life, which turned into golden spiral. It like took us all in the whirlpool, it's like a whirlpool of energy, which we were all part of, and we weren't just like some sort of debris or little specks of whatever. It was all of us, victims, perpetrators, that's just an illusion. But it was all of us, every tiny part of reality played. We're all being like enmeshed in this beautiful golden pool of energy, and we're all being through a spiraling motion of the galactic pulsation of life, of the cosmic heart. We were being drawn, we were being lifted up in this golden spiral towards the galactic core, the galactic center. We're being led there through this principle of a golden thread of life which moves through everything, okay? And in that last third step, it is now to activate our group intention, power, and togetherness through group holding hands in the unity of the white light. So we did that by holding hands, and we envisioned an even larger circle. If you don't have a physical person who you can hold hands with, I imagine, I advise you to do that. Like you're holding your own hands and just feel it like this in the third step, that you will actually feel the energy will circle through your hands. What I felt was like immense electricity. It will spiral as the white light, which will move through our healing circle. So you can then imagine this healing circle as a group of all beings who are part of this, all light workers, all who serve unity, consciousness, light, holding our hands, creating a vortex. And then in the next step, inside a vortex, we're all here, healers, guides, teachers, leaders, readers, whatever, creating a green flame of the healing light. So this is that part which I call the group healing light activation. That green flame, because we've actually worked with the physical level of healing the physical heart, healing our experiences, people calling it childhood trauma, past life trauma, it doesn't matter. It's the green light of healing. Then that green healing, because we've allowed that to become our group intention, it was the green flame of not me, one type of healer, it was all of us creating that collective green energy. Someone recently asked me why I always have a green orb in my nature pictures everywhere. Well, it's because of that, and because I'm in nature, I'm connected with my light family group of Elohim, and I'm always washed over by this, and it's just when the light comes through the sun, this light is then reflected in this green light. It's because that's this natural state, and it's elemental healing and nature healing. Because of that, the allowance and creation of that, the pink flame gets activated. So you first see this green flame, and then surrounding it, expanding even further, is the pink flame of divine love, of spiritual cosmic heart healing. See it here? Beautiful. That's the color I'm intending for. And that because we open our hearts at a higher level through this cosmic compassion, that then later becomes the violet flame. And the violet flame starts to encompass all of our circle. It starts to flow through and starts this whirlpool energy again, and engulfs everything and extends from the circle of our unity light, holding hands still, encompasses and saturates. When it moves out and it like encompasses then the whole planet. It saturates the whole planet. It moves then up. It's being lifted up, because with this, by our conscious contributions of healing light on the planet, we actually move the energy. We move the energy up, which means we make a conscious intention for higher cosmic waves to start streaming and pouring down to us. They start to, our intentions and healing light invites higher cosmic rays, which then penetrate the earth as a shower, a rainbow shower, a magical shower of light. And then we feel it precipitating all through us, all through the planet. And each in our own individual embodiment, we devote ourselves to integrating and embodying this cosmic rainbow shower of light. So basically, those are the steps of the activation. If you feel you need to watch the steps again, because some people want to have the visual, people love to have a visual. You can even make a drawing. It really helps, by drawing something, we're bringing it more into the physical or whatever it is. But I advise to not, procrastinate any further. Let us now move into this enhanced vibratory space of doing it together now as a group. And remember, whenever you tune into the video, the group is always there because the video and the intention is shared within the group complex. We were just the two of us doing it for the past 3 days, and it felt like we weren't alone for sure. It was such an intensity we never had before in any of our activations. It was almightily powerful, and that's my gift to all of you, to all of us now standing in the light of truth, knowing that the only way to truly liberate is to liberate yourself, and then be an agent of that liberation for all life, to witness how easily actually can be done through you once you gift yourself that magical gift of divine grace in your physical form. So, my beloveds, let us begin. So, dear beloved, welcome to this divine immunity and group healing light activation meditation. So I would like to invite you to surround yourself with all of the guidance that is currently serving you as you serve humanity and this planet and beyond. Imagine surrounding yourself with everything that loves you as you love. Imagine being encased in this beautiful bubble of pristine love, of universal love, of love that you always have been, that you always are, that you always will be. Imagine the highest light of divinity being present with you, because it is of utmost importance that whatever you do, even if it's just reading a few oracles, having your morning tea, going for a walk, having a beautiful conversation with someone, imagine that everything you're doing now, you are invoking and creating from the sacred space we're going to perform in terms of co-creating it in this light activation meditation. I want you also to visualize this beautiful ray of divine love that surrounds us as we are becoming the pure channels for such love. As we consciously communicate and co-create together by connecting, and a lot of such individuals are coming together in very close, tight-knitted connections that just feel right. Not all of them are past life connections. A lot of them are connections from other realms, even angelic realms. So when these connections are coming together, our heart flame sparks up, and together we are increasing this potential for light quotient, raising on this planet through ourselves. And even with the seeming darkness, which actually serves the process of light in unity consciousness, we're coming closer and closer together. So I would like to invite you to step with me as one group of unity consciousness in this invocation and light activation that we are now creating, co-creating together in the space of ultimate support, protection, and healing love from the guidance that serves the highest law of unity. Now you can now sit really comfortably or close your eyes so that you will really step into the experience of this love. Now take a deep, relaxing breath, and know that just by taking a breath, you're already centering yourself into your most authentic, highest integrity alignment at this time. And that whatever you will create along this process is always serving your highest good, your highest intention of soul integrity in this moment, in the now. And you can now affirm to yourself, quietly or out loud, I am that I am. And my intention and devotion is to serve the light of unity consciousness. As I serve the light of unity consciousness within myself, I serve that same light of unity in all life and in everyone. By embracing the light of the I am within myself, I invoke and embrace the I am light in all. Take another deep breath and feel your I am source connection. Feel your natural connection to all life, to the elements, to the threads of life that weave everything together in a beautiful dance of interconnectedness and play. And feel how we're all in this super high vibrational space together in absolute love, respect, and appreciation for all of each other's unique, intimate experiences, as well as the overall experience of polarity integration as it plays out in this universe and beyond. Feel into your heart center of the cosmic Christ. And now invoke your I am essence or your I am presence. And feel how through the activation that reaches upon from your base chakra towards your crown chakra as it enters deeper gateways of light that are non-physical. Imagine that your crown of I am that is placed upon the top of your head starts to pulsate, and with that magnified pulsation starts to lift up and raise anything that is non-yours, putting it so simply. Any toxic energy or anything that you have accumulated in any sort of way, in any direction of time and space, in your record memory, in your cells, in your overall body. Now imagine that I am light descending through your body, scanning your body from any non-alignments, and pulling it forth from your base upwards. And just feel how this acts as that pulsation of light that is always there available to dissolve anything that is not of your highest authentic light that serves your devotion to unity consciousness. Imagine your I am presence always acting in that manner, for that is this natural way of being. So as you serve life in a horizontal or more physically embodied sense, that vertical pillar always acts through you. And we have been activated, we have worked with the white pillar before in these activations. So by now you do know. Now, as you feel that, when you will feel that pull, when you will feel that strong energetic potency reaching its pinnacle point, from that point over, when it starts to move and exit out of your body, only at that point, ask and activate that now the I am presence of whatever you still feel like externally comes or tries to penetrate your sacred space or come against you or in any way infiltrate you. It can be a person, a situation, an institution, organization, an agenda, whatever it is. You don't have to visualize it as a person. You can say, I now invoke the I am presence in me, and through my I am, I invoke the I am presence in thee. And then feel that. And as you engage with that I am presence of that individual situation that, is currently used as a play field of that dynamics of polarity integration, and you ask that to serve the same process. And now you visualize that. You can even visualize it as a person or as a being. You can visualize that as something that exists next to you or outside of you, just outside of your sacred space, and feel how that I am individual presence acts as that same way. It starts to detoxify and pull from downwards through the crown, pull any sense of debris and toxicity. And now you feel how through your own cleansing, all of that moves into its natural space of energetic responsibility. So by doing that within yourself first, and then through that other energy that is an external energy that exists, you send back, but not through persona connection, but through the I am invocation, you send that energetic responsibility back so that it does not overwhelm you, that does not infiltrate you, that it does not in a way impact you, or that in any way does not energetically drain you, because it cannot in a way become a part of your living essence, which needs to come sovereignly through you. Okay? When you feel that energy coming back to its source, non-karmically, simply that it travels through its highest space of energetic integration at this time for where it is appropriate in this timeline, in this current energetic environment, an embodiment for that type of energy to travel to. So you return that energetic responsibility, but through the invocation of the I Am. And then just now feel how all of the energy that has been in a way intertwined, intermingled, perhaps even karmic, now returns back to its source, so that through the I Am of that source, which is not your own individualized source, although it is a web of unity that connects all of our sources together, imagine how that energetic responsibility which you have been playing with, maybe perhaps for many, for eons of time, in a sense of your own karmic responsibility, that has been more of an infiltrated karmic responsibility. You just simply give it to its own source. You allow it to travel back so that it can meet itself through the reflection of the I Am and its own actions, words, deeds, whatever kind of energy it sends back. When you feel that energetic process of moving back all these aspects to their own responsibility source, move back into your body. Imagine your cosmic heart pulsating. And now you feel, because you have been cleansed through the I Am, you have been detoxified, you have been in a way returned to your natural state, and you're constantly being liberated. You now feel that in the sense of liberation, your body wants to expand itself, it wants to open itself. Because through the essence of returning that which does not belong to you, your space is now whole, and it is open, and it is safe. And in that space, visualize your body as completely transparent. It serves as a vessel for divine transparency. And now in your body, that same I Am presence starts to send beautiful waves of white golden light of the Christ itself, which fill up your entire body. They activate and regenerate your cells into becoming once more illumined, luminescent cells of light, activating your DNA to its state of divine illumination and cosmic union. And you feel yourself fully open and penetrating in that light. Feel that for a while, when it feels that it's the potential which moves through you, because as you do divine work of alignment with this transparency, now you see that anchored divine immunity. You can now at this point, if you wish, even affirm to yourself the simple invocation: my physical body, through my luminous divine essence, exists in a state of absolute divine immunity. In this way, I can be utilized as a vessel, a source for highest integration experience of unified polarity. And I am being always initiated through every experience that comes to me and through me as I serve the law of divine transparency in unity consciousness, as I serve spirit, and I serve divine love. I serve life in its expression of perfection and wholeness. As you feel that within yourself, imagine being washed over through the sense that that which arises and potentializes and pulsates through you, and the activation of your sacred heart flame, This white flame starts to burst through your sacred heart, your cosmic heart, and it starts to activate you towards that new consciousness state, which you are now fully ready for. And if there's parts of you that perhaps feel they're not in full alignment with this yet, you simply naturally say and know that all comes and aligns in perfect divine timing. You are simply seeding the seeds of that already now. In this state, when you feel yourself fully open and transparent, you feel that this divine sense of protection comes naturally, organically through you. And from this space, you feel a deep sense of gratitude, that ultimate gratitude for life, for that experience, or for any experience ever present in your life, and those of others that reach you because they're somehow in connection to your life and to your own experiences. And they do somehow interlock, exchange, and connect. In this next step, you want to invoke divine gratitude for every single experience, and you wish to feel deeply in your body that ascension is no longer a mental idea or an ideology or a philosophy, but it is your direct life experience. And what you feel through your body is not just mere symptoms, but it's direct ascension experience. And from the space of gratitude for all that is a part of your reality, no matter what you perceive it as positive or negative, light or dark, you affirm to yourself, even the darkness serves the light. I am the light of Christ. I am the light of one. And I serve the holiness of divine love. Now, as you feel the state of divine love, feel into your heart. And imagine that as you deeply tune into your physical heart, because within your physical heart are the key factors or the key connections to your spiritual or cosmic heart. And now you feel your whole being penetrating with this essence, and suddenly in front of you, in front of your own inner third eye, in your inner vision, you see a beautiful sign, a silver gold sign of Omega. It can also be Alpha and Omega, but mostly you see this Omega as a divine imprint, a divine archetype of the eye of the one that seeds and embraces and oversees everything. And you feel yourself being drawn towards this Omega sign, the silver gold frequency. And as you look at it, you're being drawn and pulled into it because it's like a gateway that activates your consciousness to its higher potential. And you now feel how you're being moved and you're traveling through that tunnel of the Omega. Just feel yourself being magnetically pulled through the tunnel that is formulated by this Omega sign. As you travel through, you feel that connection of gratitude, deep gratitude of divine plan of perfection, and you feel a sense of divine trust, that knowing deep within every part of your body that everything always works for the highest light of illumination, and that all expressions are meant to be served by this light, no matter how things appear to be or play out in the physical. And now you see as key players in your life and the life realities of all souls who are a part of the polarity integration experiment or ascension experience. You now see them all interwoven together in a beautiful web of light. Now you see this web of light expanding so that it's not just a web of light unfolding, engulfing this beautiful planet as this new crystalline grid, but you also see all these aspects are magnetically drawn in this whirlpool of energy. And the moment that you recognize and consciously accept that through divine acknowledgement, through recognition of the bigger plan, of the grand design, you feel how all these aspects now starts to pulsate and rotate, moving along the golden spiral of light. and that this spiral of light includes all aspects. None of them are forgotten or out of the equation. And you just simply moving them, see them moving in this divine assembly of light, traveling. And they're all traveling through this, not just in a rotating motion, but they're moving along the spiral of light towards the galactic core, or the so-called galactic center, towards the white hole that is the emanation of all light, of all life. And as you feel this, you'll feel how you are activating the pulse of light awareness within yourself and the group of all, the unity of all. And in that pulsating movement, you might start to rotate in your body, just moving along, allowing yourself for a while to be nested in this beautiful experience where you actually get to feel what unity is. And the no aspects that you see being played out on our planet currently at this time are out of the picture or out of the equation. For the divine equation of life and light is all life, is all aspects, all playing out their roles, all having their own script of life, and all included in the spiral of life. And they're traveling as they're traversing time and space, seemingly, but always moving towards the highest expression in evolution, even when it appears to be no movement or stagnancy. Just feel all moving towards the light of the core, the pulsating heart of the galaxy, and the pulsating heart of our entire universe, and all cosmos as one. Now, from the sacred space, when you have really felt the state of unity, imagine this unity now being shared within a group of beings that are physically and non-physically present on this planet as a part of this experience. You might call them beings of light, light workers, luminescent ones, healers, spiritual guides, teachers of the light. Now see all of these beings holding hands, and in your own life, perhaps just hold your hands like this, forming a circle of light as in group consciousness. And now see the essence of the white flame that moves through the circle. And as it does so, it builds momentum. And as it builds its momentum, you will feel divine electricity, simply only perhaps just by holding your hands like this and resting in your lap. Now feel how this white light circles. It just creates this beautiful momentum that's being built through your own invocation. And imagine that as we do so, as it builds momentum, there's more and more people in the group, and it just expands and expands and reaching an ever more encompassing field within the circle of light. Now this spiraling light moving through our hands as we're holding translates the energy frequency of our Christed heart. It pulsates because the heart energy moves through the hands and creates a beautiful vortex of white light. Imagine now that inside this circle are, again, the key players, but not like personas, but imagine that in the middle of this vortex, there is a translated energy infusion, like a pool of what we call the Mahatma energy of all the living legacies of the light, or the great ancient ones that pour into this field. Imagine now on this earth plane, this field of light is being gathered into momentum by conscious translation of life force infusion through all these key players. And right in the middle, because of this life force infusion, which is deeply rooted and planetary based, and it's communal, and it's love-based, and it comes to our human compassion and our human endeavors and actions, all beautiful deeds of light. Imagine this births a beautiful green flame of the physical heart healing activations that each one of those beings has translated into this beautiful vortex of our sacred space and a field of light. Now imagine how this beautiful green flame of healing and caring for ourselves and the planet, because it opens the heart. Physical heart is the gateway towards the higher heart, or the cosmic heart, or the Christed heart. It opens a frequency towards a divine love, pink flame heart, which extends as the living flame from the green flame. It encompasses the green flame. And because of all the actions and decrees of divine love, this then becomes the living intention and expansion into the sacred violet fire, and engulfed sacred violet flame that is a product or a sacred act of love, a technology, a light technology of love from all of our hearts. And it is so filled with light that encompasses all the circle, and it starts to lift up and move beyond the borders of just our healing circles, because what we are doing, we want to reach the entire planet. Our healing circle is a metaphor. It is a divine representation of what then reaches beyond its limits, so that the circle can become truly a spiral. Now imagine how this white light of our circle that has been engulfed with the sacred violet fire of purification, transformation, transmutation, and transfiguration then engulfs, it travels through, and it engulfs our entire planet and encompasses the whole of the earth. And as it does so, imagine it lifting up all of our intentions of the light, being pulled towards other realms, all of that which we call the celestial frequency. And as it saturates the whole planet, it then moves out through the what we call the confines of our earth space or our atmospheric space, and moves up. And as it does so, it invites in new frequencies, it invites in new presences, new cosmic rays, because with our preparedness and our activations, our sacred decrees, we invite, therefore we co-create these higher cosmic rays to come and penetrate into our reality. Take a deep breath, because when we do that, we always know that our bodies will undergo immense shifts and physical changes, energetic changes. So as we invite these higher cosmic ray frequencies and seeing them penetrating the earth realm through our conscious intentions and invocations, we understand at this level that nothing is simply coming at us. So just as we perceive the infiltration of, let's call that, certain negative energies or dark energies as infiltrations, they're actually manifestations of certain beings who still perpetuate those actions. But it's all a co-creation. In the same way, we are not victims of, like passive coming into our sphere, certain events or cosmic rays or energies. We're consciously inviting them to come into our space. Cosmic rays have always existed, but as Earth has opened its potential for higher vibrational experiences, we've started to anchor them and call them out into our reality. So as you become aware of your conscious co-creation and participation in this divine alchemical process within your body, the planet Earth, and all humanity and beyond, feel a family of light that surrounds us. See and feel the entire spiritual hierarchy. It truly is not a hierarchy in the way that we feel it, but it's a family of light that serves unity. I prefer calling it the sacred white brotherhood of light that serves the laws of illumination and unity. And now you feel how this entire group collective, which we are all a part of, through the invocation of these higher cosmic rays, sends down, pouring onto the planet Earth, a shower of rainbow frequency. So it is a shower or a rain of rainbow colors, and it starts to now drop all the way through all the levels and layers, reaching the what some call the physical or the mental or emotional strata of our planet, basically the atmospheric levels and the physical planes, the elemental planes. Feel that coming into your awareness. And as your body is a physical structure, just as it is other energetic structures as well. And I'll call for the physical essence of your body. Some might call this the body elemental or the elemental template of the body structure. Feel again into the physical nature of the body and be aware of all the energetic changes taking place. Know that now, through establishment of this divine invocation and light activation, you are a pure transparent channel for this light. You are a vessel for this light. You are an anchor. You are a pillar. And in this sacred space of conscious co-creation with these rays, with these energies, you can now affirm to yourself, if you feel ready, take a deep breath. And just affirm, I now fully dedicate myself, I fully commit and devote myself towards integrating and embodying these celestial frequencies, these higher cosmic rays, into my physical form, through all the levels and layers of consciousness that I am multidimensionally connected and working through. I am a pillar of embodiment. Ascension is all that I experience daily. I move into my ascension as an essence-based experience. And so I move into the essence of my physical heart, my Christed cosmic heart, my heart of grace, human love and compassion. And I trust the process, for I trust into the revelation and utilization of the divine plan of perfection that acts consciously through me in all life. And therefore I am the agent of the Most High. You might take a while to just sit with or lie with your beautiful sacred heart. Just really feel nested in this essence. Take a while, and then perhaps for a while, just take a moment to ground the energy, because it's very important to stay connected, aligned with the elemental nature. Sometimes to help to cleanse our auric field as well as grounding it, it's probably not just of major importance, it is of daily importance to align our physical bodies with the earth, with the core of our earth, the heart of the planet, the heart of Gaia. Because as we align with the elemental or the iron core crystal of Gaia, we align with our own physical elemental body. And this way we're not just swimming there through the stars, not able to manifest our reality physically or abundance in the physical, but we deeply root our presence in the physical, and therefore we are cultivators of life force and these higher streaming energies, so that more abundance can be embodied and just share through all of us in this way, because these energies need to move through our embodiment. If we're just feeling them but we're not really moving them through our body, we're not going to fully experience the abundance on all levels, as well as our physical well-being on this planet, and to be able to have a life of thriving and luxuriating in a way that suits our physicality in this new refined form. Because what maybe served our bodies before is now, it's amping up, and our bodies require now a refined experience. So for us to make that more available to all, to mainstream it, because a lot of the things that, maybe are more nurturing, let's call it in simple terms, they're not as available, or some of the things are expensive. We can't just go and, go in a expensive spa or whatever it is. We don't have to. But I'm saying is, when we activate those energies by bringing them into embodiment, we're going to make that, through our spiritual inner technology, more available on the planet, so that more abundance on all levels of experiencing earthly living and sensuality through earth, through all of our senses, will be available to all. And you play key words as the crew of light here, this crucial part you play, and we all do, and it's a gift to all life. So it helps sometimes just, when you go out into nature, that's for me the biggest manifestation through the nature and its elemental structure that aligns you with your own body elemental, is you feel the wind rushing through you. It cleanses you immediately. You feel the water running through you. You become as water. You go with the flow. You ground on earth. You stabilize yourself, your rooted force. And you feel the element of fire by having the passion, seeing how passionate nature is for always birthing something. You feel that through your inner birthing. That's the fire element for me. So I hope you enjoyed this beautiful light activation. They're always quite a journey for me. It's like if your body feels like it's pulsating and tingling, but you can't move yourself up, sometimes just do like that, or rub your feet just as well, like you do with the hands. Do the same with your leg. When I experience at night these restless leg syndromes, what I do is, even though I'm very tired or sleepy, I have to rub my feet. I have to put them on the ground for a while so the energy can anchor through. And you can just simply say, thank you, energies of light, to ground through my physical core. And I am serving this with great delight, with great joy. And just simply visualize that being anchored through you, like a lightning rod, right? Reaches through and grounds itself in the planetary structure. Anyway, thank you for watching. I would love to receive, if you have any beautiful experiences during this meditation as well, to share via my email. I would love to get your feedback as well, to see how you receive and assist the overall process. Thank you for being here and always sharing with our group. I'm so thrilled. I was so excited to record this activation. I was all like, I can't wait to do it. You know, it takes a while to prepare and to go through all the stages, but I'm just beyond delighted. And I've been working like crazy for the past few weeks, so maybe I'm going to take a short break and I'm going to come back again with so much more new to share. I love you so much as always, with great love, wisdom, and power, my beautiful ones. Shine, shine, shine on. And when you meet people that just really align with your heart, just follow that voice of the heart and that knowing that pulls you, because now it's really important what we've achieved on our own to kind of use as our own magical gifts that we all have individually, and connect those individualities in a beautiful mesh of something beautiful and juicy and golden white and radiant. And I greet you all with that final thought to contemplate on, and I'll see you soon. Stay connected and enjoy this beautiful new moon coming and the beautiful equinox. So I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.
Magical.